guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to do another themed reading vlog. This is something that popped in my head one day and I said, you know what, this is a great idea and I can make this a whole thing. So what we are going to do today is focus on some series. And this idea popped into my head because we are moving at the end of July, and every time we move, I start thinking about unhauling books, and I usually do a decent unhaul before we move. And so that's kind of going through my head right now. And something I thought about is that I have a lot of series, and I get into a really bad habit of purchasing an entire series without even have read the first book. Like, I haven't read the first book yet, but I have a 6-book series, but I haven't even read the first one. So I have all these books that are taking up real estate on my shelves, but I don't even know if I'm going to like them because I haven't even tried the first one. So that has to be a new rule for me going forward, is I'm not allowed to buy any more books in a series until I at least read the first book and I know that I want to continue and I know that I want to own it. And something that I thought about doing for this one is I'm going to look at my shelves and pick 3 books that are the first in a series, but they're going to be longer series, so longer than a trilogy. And I have either all or most of the books in the series. And from there, I'm going to read the first book of those, and I'm going to make a decision based off that first book if I'm going to keep these series on my shelves. I think I could possibly get rid of some books from this experiment. So based on what I think of the first book, basically if it's a 3 or below, I'm probably going to unhaul the whole series and not worry about it. If it's a 4 or 5 for the first book, then yeah, I'm in. That means I enjoyed it. I loved it. I want to keep going. So I have picked 3. Now these are series that are longer, and I have all the books for the most part. I think there's one that I'm missing 1 book from the series. So I have them picked out already. The first one is the longest one, and that is the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes. This is a 6-book series. It's a young adult fantasy. This has been pitched big time as Game of Thrones for young adults. That really caught my interest. I've heard good things about the series overall. However, I have also heard that it starts going downhill towards the end. Also heard that about Game of Thrones, though, and I appreciated the way Game of Thrones ended. I didn't mind the ending. A lot of people didn't like it, but I didn't mind it. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, so I'm going to read this first book here. This one is, it's a decent amount. I think it's a little over 400 pages. I do have a chapter sampler of the second book, but let's see. Yeah, so it's 412 pages. So, you know, that's a decent amount, but it is young adult, so it's going to go pretty quickly for me, I think. So I'm going to give this one a try and see if I'm going to keep this 6-book series. I have all 6 books of this series on my shelves. The second one I have is a contemporary, and that is the Neapolitan series. From Elena Ferrante. This first one is called My Brilliant Friend, and there's 4 books in this series. I have all 4 of them on my shelves. I bought this after hearing Max from Well Done Books talk about them, and also Marina's from My Name is Marina's. They both absolutely loved these books, and I bought them because of that, but I couldn't tell you what this is about. So I don't know, but I did find them at a thrift store, all 4 of them, and I have all 4 of them. So I guess we'll see. This first one here is 331. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Yeah. And then the third one is an urban fantasy, and that is the Parasol Protectorate series by Gail Carriger. This first one is called Soulless. Now, this one is a novel of vampires, werewolves, and parasols. So it's an urban fantasy, like I said. I do actually love the little octopus right there. How cute is that? I love octopus. I don't know why they fascinate me, but I love the way they look. So I have the first 4 books in this one. I don't have the last book. There are 5 books total, but I do have the first 4. So let me see how long this one is. There's quite a bit of extra stuff in the back here. So, like quite a bit of extras. Like all this is extra stuff. So let's see. Okay. So 370 pages for this one. And I guess we'll just see. I haven't heard a ton about this like recently at all. This is kind of an older series that people were loving when they were reading it before, but it's been a very long time since I even heard anyone talk about this series. So I guess we'll see. If I like this first one, then I'll keep them. If the first one's just okay, maybe I won't. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we are going to read these in this reading vlog, and I'm a little nervous. Hey guys, okay, we are getting started. The first book that I want to go ahead and give a read is going to be The Fallen Kingdoms. I wanted to start with this one because I do have, I have a fantasy, an urban fantasy, and a contemporary. So I thought I would kind of do fantasy, contemporary fantasy. So I'm going to start with this one. And since this is also the series that has the most books in it, it would give me kind of a good starting off point on whether or not I'm going to keep them or not. So we're going to start with this one and see what I think. I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but we'll see. I think I'm going to maybe read half of it and then give you a little update when I'm halfway through and give you my thoughts so far, and then finish it out and let you know what my final thoughts are and what my final decision is on the rest of the series. Okay, guys, I am officially halfway through Fallen Kingdoms. I'm at the halfway point, and I'm enjoying this. I'm actually really surprised how much I'm digging this. I really am. It's definitely setting up this world really nicely. I'm getting it. I'm understanding what's going on. I'm understanding who's who, where they're from. I can definitely see the Game of Thrones like how people can compare this to Game of Thrones for young adults. I understand that definitely. And I'm enjoying it. I'm very much enjoying it, which is a surprise, but it's a good surprise, right? I mean, I have this whole series, so I was hoping I would enjoy it. And yeah, I am. And I'm able to sit, like when I have time to sit down and read a chunk of it, I'm able to actually do that pretty well. And it's, something that I can get through nice and easy, and it's good so far. It really is. I'm enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying what's going on. I'm enjoying the difficulties that are happening, and like some things that I'm kind of foreseeing could possibly be happening that could be like issues going forward. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this is all going to play out. So I'm liking it. Okay, guys. So I finished Fallen Kingdoms and I loved it. I loved this. Huge surprise that I love this so much because it's young adult fantasy, and I tend to go into young adult fantasy a little bit wary, or with lowered expectations, I guess you could say, because they tend to be on the lighter side of fantasy, definitely, and they tend to just be full of tropes. However, I'm gonna say, sure, this was tropey. Yes, it was young adult, but it didn't back off on the violence, definitely. This is actually a lot more violent than I thought it was going to be for a young adult. And I loved every minute of it. I really did. Now, I finished this a few days ago, and I wanted to let it simmer a little bit before I decided what I was going to give it, because my initial emotional reaction to this was 5 stars. Like, I loved it. I was all over it. I was all about it. I could not put it down at the end. I'm so invested in these characters and like what's going to happen to them. And I wanted to give it some time though, because sometimes the further away from a book I get, the less I like it, or I think about more things that I could find as a fault. But a few days later, I'm still a 5-star for this one, 100%. I just loved it. I thought it was thrilling. It was very fast paced. I was incredibly interested in every single character and what was going to happen. And this has been kind of pitched as a YA Game of Thrones, which I definitely can see 100% can pick up on that one. Yeah. There's a lot of the same type of themes in here. There was one scene where I got so angry and I put the book down and I said out loud, like, when I pick this book back up, it better not have done what I think it just did. It was that meme that I see going around everywhere. That's exactly what I said. And then I picked it back up and of course it was still there and I was very angry about it. But the fact that it got me to that emotional point was really good. And that I was getting attached to these characters and stuff. So I loved it, guys. And huge surprise that this would be 5 stars. I thought I'd be lucky if this were a 4-star, to be honest with you. I didn't have high expectations for this, but oh my gosh, it blew me away. I loved it. So this is a series I'm definitely keeping on my shelves. Definitely plan to read all 6. For sure, I will definitely be picking up the next one before too long. I don't want to like wait too long and then forget a lot of things that happen in here, but I loved it. 100% totally into this series. Hey guys, okay, I am ready to get started on book number 2 for this experiment. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Now, this was translated from Italian, and it is a contemporary, and I believe this is a very character-driven book, which isn't normally my thing. I'm normally a plot-driven reader, and I know that this is character-driven, so I'm going to see how this goes. Sometimes I can be okay with character-driven books. It just depends on what it is. But yeah, so I'm thinking actually I might do this on audiobook. I'm going to see if my library has a copy of it available to me. I think this could be something that would be good to listen to because it is character-driven. Sometimes that can be a little bit slower, so I think that would help me get through it at a faster pace than I would be reading it normally. And it would be a good thing for me to listen to like first thing in the morning when I'm making coffee and breakfast and getting the girls ready and all that stuff. I think this could be a good thing for me to be listening to while I do that kind of stuff. And we're going to see how it goes. So I will let you know when I am maybe like halfway through. I'll let you know. And yeah, all right. Hey guys. Okay, I just finished My Brilliant Friend. I listened to this on audio. I didn't do a mid check-in. I just kind of, I don't know, I forgot. So I just kind of kept going with it so I could finish it up. Didn't really like this one, to be honest with you. It's definitely a character-driven book. This one is one that did not work for me. I found that I didn't care about the characters, and that's definitely a big part of a character-driven book is that you care about the characters and you care about what's happening to them. I did not. So this follows 2 young girls who are living in Italy, and you're just learning about their childhood and them growing up and things that are happening. Some interesting parts I thought were how the school system worked there and how they did their testing and like what qualified them for school. That was kind of interesting. And that's kind of it, to be honest with you. That was the only interesting part to me. I felt like these 2 girls did not have a healthy relationship. I felt they were competitive and almost a little toxic. And I'm like, you know, our main character is Elena, who that's a whole nother thing with me too. Like the author is Elena and the main character is Elena. That's kind of a little pet peeve of mine. I don't like it when authors use their own names for their main characters. Like, really? But okay. So our main character, Elena, I felt like people really treated her terribly, and she allowed that to happen. Sometimes it almost felt like she enjoyed it a little bit at times, or she purposely put herself in those situations where people were treating her badly. And just this friend of hers was not a very good person to her at all. And it was just like, why are you friends with her? So that frustrated me a lot. And from things I've been hearing, it doesn't get better in the next 4 books or 3 books of this quartet. So this is one that I'm going to get rid of. I'm not going to read the other 3 because I don't care at all. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. So this one is not one for me, which I know now. And I'm glad I know now. I'm good. So I've read it. I can say I've read it. I don't want to continue on the series, so I'm going to unhaul this quartet of books. Hey guys. All right. We are going to get started on the last book for this reading vlog, and that's going to be Soulless by Gail Carriger. And this is the first book in a 5-book series. It's an urban fantasy. And I believe there's werewolves and vampires in here. I think our main character is considered soulless, which means she has a different effect on supernatural beings. I don't know what all that entails yet, but we'll find out. So I actually downloaded this on audio, so I'm going to be listening to it. I'm going to be kind of busy this week doing some things here and there. I'm going to be driving around a bit, so perfect time to listen to an audiobook. And the narrator is Emily Gray, and I believe she is from the UK, so she's got the accent that I'm probably really going to enjoy. I love listening to UK narrators. They're fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to this one. I will keep you updated and let you know my thoughts. But yeah, I'm excited to try this one out and see what I think. Hey guys. All right. So I finished Soulless. It was fine. It was fun. I'll give it that. It was fun. It's an urban fantasy. The whole point of being a soulless is that our main character has the ability to take away the powers of the paranormal by her touch. So if she comes across a vampire and she touches him, he's not a vampire anymore. His fangs go back up. He doesn't have his vampire traits, if you will, while she's touching him. So that's what a soulless is. Yeah, so I will say it was fun. It was well written. I really did like Gail Carriger's writing. The audiobook was good. But I didn't care enough to continue the series. I'm not dying to read the next one. I don't know if I want to read the next one, to be honest. It was just fine. It wasn't this could be a new favorite series and I can't wait to read the next book and blah, blah, blah. That's not what this was for me. So it was fun, well written, but I'm going to unhaul them and maybe not read the rest of them because I kind of just don't really I don't know if that's going to be something that I want to read. I do have paranormal series that I do enjoy that I have already started and I would like to get back to. So I just think that if I do pick up paranormal or the next time I do and I'm getting in the mood for it, I have other things I'm going to pick up. I wouldn't pick this up again. So yeah. All right. So these are going to be unhauled. I have the first 4 books and I'm going to unhaul those. So that was a very interesting experiment. So we started with Fallen Kingdoms, which I loved, and that was 5 stars. And I'm definitely keeping that 6-book series, and I want to continue it for sure. And then the Neapolitan books, My Brilliant Friend, I did not like at all. And I have already unhauled that quartet, all 4 of them. So those are 4 off. And then for Soulless, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them as well. So 2 of the 3 that I started, I don't want to continue. I really didn't think it was going to be that. I thought if anything, I would like Soulless more than I did, but it was just okay. So, yeah, that was an interesting experiment. And I got rid of 8 books, 2 off my TBR for sure, because I read them. And then the other 6 are just going off and getting unhauled. So, yeah, I would call that a big success, at least for, I got rid of some books and I now know for sure that Fallen Kingdoms is going to be a series that I want to read the entirety of and that I really enjoyed. So yeah, that was fun. Okay. So, those are my thoughts on those books and the results, for some longer series that I had sitting on my shelves. I am happy to be parting with some of them and keeping some of them. So yeah, that was good. That was a good time. Okay, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you guys read longer series? Do you enjoy longer series? If you do, let me know what some of your favorites are. Have you started series that you read the first one and went, nah, nope, I don't want to read those. Let me know what those are down below too. And I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.